The snow had already reached my ankles when I heard the deadbolt click. Through the frosted glass of our front door, I could see my mother's silhouette, her hand still on the lock, waiting to make sure I understood this wasn't a joke. "Servants sleep outside," she shouted through the wood. "Maybe a night in the cold will remind you of your place in this family." I pressed my palm against the door, already feeling the bite of winter through my thin pajamas. "Mom, please. It's 15 degrees. I'll make Trevor his sandwich." Too late. Trevor's voice came from the upstairs window. He pushed it open, letting warm air escape into the night like a taunt. "Maybe the cold will teach you respect. Next time I say I'm hungry, you move." "Got it." He was eating chips. I could hear them crunching as he leaned out of his heated bedroom, 23 years old and still demanding midnight snacks like a toddler. Except toddlers don't usually watch their sisters freeze to death for entertainment. "This is insane," I called up. "It's just a sandwich." "It's not about the sandwich." Dad's voice came from somewhere inside, probably his recliner where he ruled the house without ever standing up. "It's about knowing your role. Boys need to eat. Girls need to serve. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson?" The porch light clicked off. I stood there in the dark, barefoot in the snow, feeling the cold seep through my skin like poison. This wasn't the first time they'd locked me out. There'd been the summer night when I'd refused to wash Trevor's car, the spring evening when I'd said I had homework instead of doing his laundry. But never in winter. Never when the weather app on my phone showed a wind chill of -5. My phone. I patted my pajama pockets, but of course I'd left it on my nightstand. Along with my coat, my shoes, my dignity. The neighbor's dog started barking, and I saw Mrs. Patterson's curtain twitch next door. She saw me, I know she did. But the curtain fell back, and her lights went off. Everyone on our street knew better than to interfere with the Brennan family discipline. I tried the back door. Locked. The garage. Locked. Even the shed where Dad kept his tools. Padlocked like they'd planned this. An hour in, I couldn't feel my feet. 2 hours in, my hands had stopped shaking, which I knew was bad. Really bad. I'd taken enough biology classes to know what hypothermia looked like, even if my parents had mocked me for wasting time on books instead of cooking classes. That's when I saw it. Trevor's car, parked in the driveway like always. His precious BMW, the one Mom and Dad had bought him for graduating high school with a 2.1 GPA, while I'd gotten a pat on the head for my full scholarship. He never locked it. Why would he? Who'd be stupid enough to touch Trevor Brennan's car? Someone who was about to freeze to death, that's who. I crawled inside, blessing his laziness for once. The seats were leather, still holding a trace of warmth from his earlier drive. I found his gym bag in the back, sweaty clothes, but clothes nonetheless. A protein shake, half empty. His emergency credit card in the glove compartment, the one Mom refilled monthly for gas and necessities. I sat there, wrapped in his XXL hoodie that smelled like cologne and entitlement, and made a decision. Not a plan, that would come later. Just a decision that this was the last night anyone would lock me out of anywhere. I waited until 4 a.m., when I knew they'd all be deep in their sleep cycles. Then I started his car, put it in neutral, and let it roll silently down the driveway. I didn't turn the engine fully on until I was 3 blocks away. The credit card had a $5,000 limit. I used it all. First, a hotel room. Not fancy, just warm. A place where I could feel my extremities again and think clearly. Then supplies. A new phone, pay as you go. Warm clothes from the 24-hour Walmart. A laptop from the electronics section. Gift cards purchased with Trevor's credit, harder to trace. By sunrise, I'd disappeared. But not before leaving Trevor's car in the worst part of town, doors open, keys in the ignition. Let him explain that to insurance. The calls started around 8 a.m. on my new phone. Somehow they'd figured out the number. Maybe the hotel. Maybe the store cameras. It didn't matter. "Where are you?" Mom's first voicemail screamed. "Trevor has a job interview today. He needs his car. You stole from us." Dad's message was calmer but colder. "That's a crime. We will press charges. Trevor's was the best. I'm going to find you, and when I do, you'll wish we'd left you outside longer." I didn't respond. I was too busy applying for jobs in every city within 1,000 miles. Too busy using the laptop to access the cloud storage where I'd been secretly backing up everything for years. See, when you're the servant, you're invisible. They didn't notice when I was in the room as they discussed things. Like Dad's off-the-books consulting business that hadn't paid taxes since 2018. Like Mom's prescription pill side hustle, selling her extras to the neighborhood wine moms. Like Trevor's little photography hobby. The one where he took pictures of girls at the gym without their consent and sold them on certain websites. I'd documented everything. Every confession over dinner they assumed I wasn't listening to. Every receipt left carelessly on counters I was expected to clean. Every disgusting message on Trevor's computer when he demanded I fix his virus problem. That was clearly from his browsing habits. But I didn't release it. Not yet. First, I needed to disappear properly. The job came through faster than expected. A live-in nanny position for a family in Oregon. 3 kids, recently divorced mom, needed someone who could start immediately. The phone interview went perfectly. "You sound like you have experience with difficult family dynamics," she said after I'd answered her questions about handling tantrums and unreasonable demands. "You could say that," I replied. "And you're really okay moving across the country? No family obligations." "No family," I said, and meant it. She hired me on the spot. I took a bus to Oregon, watching the snow-covered miles disappear behind me. My family tried everything, threatened police, posted on social media about their missing daughter, even hired a PI with money they probably couldn't afford. But I was 21, legally an adult, and I'd left a note saying I was leaving voluntarily. The police couldn't do anything. The first month in Oregon was heaven. The kids I nannied were actually easier than Trevor had ever been. They said please and thank you. They cleaned up after themselves once I showed them how. Their mother, Diane, treated me like a human being, paid me fairly, respected my time off, even bought me winter boots when she noticed I only had sneakers. "These are too expensive," I protested when I saw the brand. "Nonsense," she said. "You take care of my babies. Warm feet are the least I can provide." I almost cried. 21 years with my birth family, and a stranger showed me more kindness in a month than they had in decades. But my family wasn't done. The messages evolved from threats to manipulation. "Your brother is struggling without you," Mom texted from a new number. "He's lost weight. Can't even make eggs properly. Is that what you wanted?" "We're willing to forgive," Dad emailed. "Come home and we'll forget this happened. Trevor will even apologize for the snow incident." The snow incident. Like it was a minor inconvenience instead of attempted murder. That's when Trevor made his biggest mistake. He found my Instagram, the new one, under a fake name, where I'd posted exactly 3 photos of Oregon scenery. He'd med me from his main account. "Found you, servant. See you soon." Attached was a screenshot of a plane ticket to Portland. I screenshot his message, then went to his profile. Still public. Still full of gym selfies and cars. Still linked to all his interests and habits. It took me 1 hour to destroy his life. First, I made an anonymous account and posted his creepy gym photos to the gym's Facebook page, tagging every woman I could identify. "Is this legal? This member is selling these online without consent." Then I sent his employer an anonymous tip about his social media history. The racist jokes, the degrading comments about women, the posts bragging about calling in sick when he was really hungover. Finally, I activated the nuclear option. I'd been saving it, hoping I'd never need it. But he'd threatened to come for me, and I believed him. I posted everything to a public blog. Every crime, every scam, every horrible thing they'd done backed up with evidence. Dad's tax evasion. Mom's pill dealing. Trevor's illegal photography business. Screenshots, recordings, photos, years of evidence uploaded in minutes. But I was smart about it. I didn't confess to taking anything. I positioned myself as a concerned citizen who'd stumbled upon this information. Who could prove otherwise? The blog went viral in our hometown within hours. Dad's clients started calling, canceling contracts. Mom's church friends whispered. Trevor's gym banned him immediately, and his job fired him before he could even make it to his Portland flight. The investigation started within a week. Turns out, the IRS doesn't care if you lock your daughter out in the snow, but they care very much about 7 years of unreported income. The DEA is similarly interested in suburban pill distribution, even small scale. And Trevor's photography victims? Several were underage. He didn't know because he didn't care, but the FBI cared very much. The last message I got from them was from Dad 2 months later. "You've destroyed us. Your own family. How do you sleep at night?" I wanted to tell him, in a warm bed. In a house where no one expects me to be a servant. Where no one locks doors to teach me lessons. where my worth isn't measured in sandwiches made or laundry done. But I didn't respond. I just blocked the number and went back to building my life. The news stories were delicious. Local family faces multiple federal charges. Trevor got the worst of it. Turns out judges don't like men who take pictures of minors, even if they claim they didn't know. 5 to 7 years, last I heard. Mom got probation and rehab for the pills, but lost her nursing license. Hard to work in healthcare with drug charges. Dad avoided jail, but owed hundreds of thousands in back taxes and penalties. They lost the house, the same house they'd locked me out of. Poetic justice at its finest. I kept the newspaper clipping of the foreclosure notice. Sometimes, on cold nights, I look at it and remember standing in the snow, convinced I was going to die because I wouldn't make a sandwich. Now they were the ones locked out, and no amount of pounding on doors would let them back into their old life. Diane eventually found out who I was, small world, and my story had made national news as an example of family abuse hidden in plain sight. She didn't fire me. Instead, she poured me wine and said, "Good for you. Sometimes the family you're born into is just a starting point, not a destination." That was 2 years ago. I'm still in Oregon, though I've moved up from nannying to managing Diane's business while finishing my degree online. I have friends who've become my chosen family. I have a therapist who helped me understand that what happened wasn't my fault. I have a life. Last week, I got a letter forwarded from my old address. Mom's handwriting, shaky but recognizable. "We're sorry. We understand now what we did. Trevor is getting help. Dad has changed. Please come home. We need you. Need. Not love. Not miss. Need." I burned the letter in Diane's fireplace, watching the paper curl like my toes had curled in the snow that night. They needed their servant back. Someone to blame, to use, to lock out when they were displeased. But servants only sleep outside when they have nowhere else to go. And I had everywhere else to go. Every warm room, every open door, every place where respect wasn't something the cold had to teach me. It was given freely like heat in winter. They survived the cold that night by locking me out. But they didn't survive what came next. A world where their servant learned she was never a servant at all. Just a girl, standing in the snow, deciding she deserved better. And then making sure she got it.